Good morning. I need to turn this down. I need to turn on my do not disturb. I need to get this YouTube. And we'll go live. Oh, I have to add that in. Full morning, Joe. Okay. I need to put this on. Good morning. Hit the thumbs up. You guys usually remember to do that. Move that down there. Let's see. Move that there. I dropped my iPad when I was in California. It's got a little ding on the side now. Not happy about it. It's an iPad Pro, but it's the first version, so it's not. We're going to add seasonality. Add to visible column. There we go. Pre-market. NVIDIA's up 1%. PanW's up 1%. Oh, I need to say PanW too. I made a list, by the way, and I'll pin this. And I think, Joe, you get credit for the PXD, although I am going to pin this how do I pin it? Pin. That's the list. That is it. So far, I mean, I didn't do an extensive look at everything, but geez, I mean, come on. I've had a run, and it's not me. It's the AI. I probably should put Qualcomm in there too. Let's see. Qualcomm was more May. I don't think I've pounded the table in June on it. Essentially, we're halfway through the month, so I want to pat myself on the back. But so, one thing I want to do. I want to select symbols, ARC-K, ARC-W, ARC-F, ARC-G. Those are the four. And we're going to move that down there. Okay. Oh, come on. Select symbols. ARC W, ARC G, and ARC F. Then we're going to move the S&P. You know what? I'm just going to do SPY. Not the S&P. We'll do SPY. Update chart. And we're going to do year to date. So ARKW is the winner, 51%. Okay. By the way, if you're just here for the winners to win, it's a pinned message. If you're here for the entire podcast, I'm going to go into it in a little bit. I'm just looking at some of the Pen W's a winner today. Shopify's another winner. I picked XLY as the sector for this year, but XLK is the far winner. I mean, XLY is still XLY is not done bad at all. 130 to 160. You're not doing bad in the XLY at all, but XLK is definitely one. This is what I want to do. JEPI, and we're going to do charting and select symbols, QYLD. And then we'll do SPY. And we'll do QQQ. And update chart and year to date. So JEPI and QYLD. QYLD has just been a monster. I mean, not only are you up 12%, but I mean, it's the NASDAQ 100. You're getting 11%. So, yeah. QQQ, though, year to date, up 40% is just, that's not fair. I mean, that's like playing, it's like what? Serena Williams playing tennis against, a 12-year-old. That's just not fair. Let's see. I've got my scans. I already did my scans. But I'm just going to make sure that I didn't miss any. I did them last night, so CrowdStrike and PXD. And I think it's just, remember, since I don't do after hours in the algorithm, it's not going to pick up anything. I can do it at any point in time after 4 o'clock yesterday. I could do it. There's no energy. See, this is the killer. PXD is the only energy name that, UCO. Is it time for oil? Is it time for this chart to start taking off? I mean, Boyle wound up yesterday. Where's Boyle today? Boyle's up another 1%. It closed at 319. I'm sorry, it closed at 315. It's at 319. And we have confirmation. I mean, it's a red candle, but we have confirmation. See above that 9-day? So, okay. Energy names, levered ETFs. Was there one? No. Coin and Melly are the only ones that. Did I do low cost? Vanguard, nothing in there. Spider sectors, nothing. And then not owned. This is where coin and I have to add coin into this. We're going to add coin into not owned. You know what? What about Rocket? Is this in not owned? We want to put this in not owned. It is not owned. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. I'm on early today, too, because I got a lunch meeting. I had another talk with the Earthlink lawyer, charter lawyers last night in that lawsuit. What a freaking... Ugh. I hate companies, man. I hate company lawyers. Should I get started? I probably should. Now, here's this is the killer. Let me go into Spotify. Oh, let me go into, I think I have to go into this one to see it. Your podcast. And then, oh, it doesn't interact. There we go. So far, should I upload video episodes onto Spotify? Oh, let me talk about this. Upload video podcast to Spotify. So here's the deal, and I guess for the 9 or 10 of you that are going to watch this, or maybe 60 that might watch it later, I could upload the same video that I upload to YouTube to Spotify. The actual audio quality is not as good. The video that you're going to see on Spotify is not something where you can... I haven't been able to pinch and zoom on Spotify, so I don't know that it's worthwhile. But overwhelmingly, people say yes. So I'm slightly tempted to do that. It's just going to take a little bit more editing. And when I say editing, I mean it's going to take, let's see, consumer staples. Let's see what's in that. Since we do, because what I'd like to do is take the GarageBand. The GarageBand just has better audio. And I need to actually work on my audio in OBS. But I'm not even sure I'm going to keep this iMac. This iMac won't, as Apple just announced, this one, it's let me see about this Mac. It is a 2017 model. So it's 2023, 6-year-old. And it will not update to the next operating system, which kind of sucks. And the reason is because, and I get it, it's a 3.4 gigahertz quad core Intel Core i5, which was state of the art back then. No longer very good. I've got it maxed out with 40 gigs. Let me see about this Mac. 40 gigabytes of 2400 MHz DDR4 RAM. More info. Let's see what more info gets us. Coverage expired. Built-in Retina display. 1 terabyte drive. Yeah. So... graphics Radeon Pro 574 gigabits, which isn't great. It works. It works. And so I'm slightly moving towards buying either a Mac Mini or a Studio. one or the other and getting a nice big external curved monitor. I mean, I could probably justify those for the okay, good, it's charging. This freaking AirPods case wasn't charging. Okay, we're just going to go back to Strategy Tester, and I'm going to look at let's see. Let's put up SPY. See, SPY still has confirmation. I mean, strategist guy was on this morning, and he said two rules in strategist. Yeah, I should put this in. Hold on. Two rules at research. 1, don't fight the Fed. 2, don't fight the tape. Those are the two rules. And Fed paused. The tape is moving up. So what do? You absolutely stay in this market. Okay. Let us start the podcast. I'm going to start this one so I can have some interaction afterwards. So here we go. Good morning. It's Friday. Friday. I mean, do you sing about Friday? I got a message yesterday. I think it was Sherry sent me a message. I love the thing that the enunciating that you're retired. Yeah, I say I'm retired for the dumbasses who expect me to do crap for them. Yeah, like right now, I don't work. This ain't my job. This is for fun. So I say I'm retired because it kind of, it alleviates some guilt. But, and speaking of retired and dumbasses, your boy's dumbass, I turned on paid subs for the newsletter. I didn't know this, but it automatically charged people that pledged. So if you are one of the people that it charged, and it charged quite a few, but if you are one of the people that it charged and you'd like a refund, write to me. Just ping me on one of the socials, ping me on my email address, and I can confirm a refund. You'll just need to confirm your email address because there is a way to refund it. I figured it out after I panicked. Oh shit, I charged people. But if you pledged, I turned it on because some people don't want to tip. Some people want to pay monthly. It's a good way to do it in Substack. There are some fees that I pay. It comes out of the whatever you pay. So it's not like you have to pay fees, but I get taken out. I'd rather have your tips. And the way you tip is you go into the link tree down below. And there is a gift me PayPal, gift me Venmo, gift me Cash App. The only reason I say gift is because your boy is tax smart. Gifting me means you can gift me a certain amount each year. If I say tip me, your boy owes taxes. So a little caveat there. It's not much. Listen, the government should not come after me for that. It's a gift because you're gifting me. You're not paying me for a service. You're just gifting me. So that's what, I'll leave it at that. But your boy did do some dumbass shit last night with the newsletter. There's a poll in yesterday's podcast on Spotify. The podcast is What is Confirmation? It's the 615 pod. Should I upload video podcasts to Spotify? Overwhelmingly, you guys picked yes. This means you guys are dumbasses for not going to YouTube because I do the same exact video. I post the video on YouTube. The reason I post the video on YouTube, there's two reasons. A, the quality on Spotify is horrific, absolutely horrific. I I've tried it. You can't zoom in. And so the charts are going to look so tiny. Yes, you can see my bright, shiny white hair. Yes, you can see my bright white teeth. In fact, I got to go to my dentist and get them whitened again. She refuses to make them Ross from Friends white, which is what I want. But you can't really see the chart. So the reason I do it on YouTube is because you can pause and actually zoom in if you want to. You can pinch on your phone. So I do like YouTube better, but I will try and do maybe I will. There is some editing involved where I have to take it. The voice quality is significantly better on GarageBand, which is an audio, than it is on the OBS recording, but I can work on OBS and try and get the audio a little bit better. But overwhelmingly, if you want to vote, and my suggestion is if you vote no, I will love you forever because it means less work for me. But if you really want it, go over there to that podcast, vote yes or no. Strategic Research was on, and I found this funny. Strategic Research, guy was talking about bond rates and how the only thing that's going to take this market down is an increase in bond markets. If that 10-year goes above 4%, we're going to see the market pull back. Other than that, you're going to see equities just continue to fly. But they have one thing that I found interesting and that piqued up my ears was they have two rules at Strategis, and this is the research. One, don't fight the Fed. You guys have heard me say that. As the Fed raised rates, you knew that market was going to come down. So don't fight the Fed. The Fed has control. The second one is don't fight the tape. What you're seeing on the screen right now is SPY. Don't fight the tape. I talked about it yesterday. What's confirmation? Well, confirmation is above that 9-day. The 9-day is this green line right here for me. I constantly tell myself, don't fight this. When you see confirmation, get in. Well, we didn't have confirmation here. We finally got confirmation here on May 18th. And you saw it, couple tapes. It pulled right back. You lost confirmation. Now, am I going to get out here? It depends on the stock that I'm in. If I'm trading, I probably will get out on this candle because it goes below the 9-day. The close was 415.79, and you can see that the 9-day was about 416, which means that it closed below that 9-day. So, okay, let me get rid of that position. Now, I would have had to wait till this green candle because the green candle is actually confirming, and it's up there, and nothing closes again. Don't fight the tape. We're in a bull market. This is 100% a bull market. And speaking of kind of on my screen, somebody asked me, what moving averages? I think it was Brian asked me, what moving averages do I use on the screen? There are 4 moving averages on this screen. And we'll go over exactly why I use them. So the first one, 200-day SMA. That's this red line. The red line is a 200, and you can set these up on your charts. 200-day SMA, simple moving average. The reason I do this, find the long-term trend. Because as we were in last year's kind of bear market, if you want to call it a bear market pullback, look, it's negative. Last year, you were that's the long-term trend. Where did we move positive? Well, it was January. So you can look at the long-term on the 200 SMA. The second one that I have is this blue line. That is a 50-day SMA. Again, simple moving average. You can tell this is the medium-term trend. You want to find the trend. This is the long-term in the red. Medium-term is blue. So I use these. You'll hear me talk about death crosses where the 50-day crosses the 200-day. There was some discussion on that in the Facebook group as well. But typically this will tell me, okay, are we moving into a higher trend? Are we moving into a lower trend? Right now, you can see we're totally in a higher trend. The 200-day is moving positive. The 50-day is moving positive. The third line that I have is this yellow line right here. Now, this is a 21-day EMA. Enhanced moving average, I think exponential moving average, I forget exactly which, but it's an EMA. And the reason I move from a 250-day SMA to a 21-day EMA reacts faster. SMA is more certain. So the validity, I want long-term validity. Short-term, I'll take less validation and more quick to move. And the reason I chose 21 is because you have 5 days in a week, typically on a trading day. So 21 gets me just above 4 weeks. So it's just over 1 month. Again, 50-day, almost 2 months. This one, just over 1 month. And then this green line, which I use a lot for short-term trading and for understanding exactly where we're at, where we're going in the short term, it's a 9-day EMA. That's the green one, 9-day EMA. And by the way, this is a masterclass. This is what people charge a ton of money for. This is exactly what I think everybody would need. But again, 50-day SMA, 200-day SMA, 50-day SMA, 21-day EMA, 9-day EMA. You can set up your charts exactly like I do. You don't need TrendSpider. TrendSpider makes this easy to set up, easy to track, but you can do your charts exactly like I do. That's what I look at. And so when I say confirmation, we talked about confirmation yesterday. Look, you confirmed in the afternoon. It's well above that 9-day. So doesn't mean that you go out and buy it today, buy SPY today, because you don't know what's going to happen over the weekend. But you do have confirmation. There's your EMAs. That's what I wanted to show you. Month-to-date winners. And that's the title of this one. I'm going to kind of go over and pat myself on the back on this one. Month-to-date winners. We talked about Coinbase when the SEC filed on June 6th. I said get it under 50. It was at 46. It's at 54 right now. You're almost at your 10%. If you got it under 4, even at 50. Do I think you can buy it at 55? Absolutely. Shopify under 60. This one dipped under 60. You're at 66.88. This one, the algorithm said buy at 61. You could have bought at 61. I said it's worth a hell of a lot more than that. And I still think it's worth more than $66. Your boy holds a lot of this. And I think I'm at about 60 if I think I dollar cost average down that. NVIDIA. We talked about this one. The earnings were May 24th. I said for the last week or two, get it under 400. You're at 426 right now. 433 in pre-market. Great call. BABA, I pounded the table. Get it down when it dipped at 70. Here on June 1st, we were at 79.35. I'm sorry, 80. 79.35. Get it under 80. You're at $92, $94 in pre-market. BABA. Tesla. I said I've been pounding the table on this one, probably more in May than it was this month. June 1st, you're at 206. I mean, under 200, I said. Get it under 200, sell it over 200. You're at 257 in pre-market. Great trade on that one. Oracle, I've been pounding this one since 90. All the way since 90. Even down, June 1st, you could have bought this one at 106. You'd be doing pretty well today. It's at 127. I still think, even though it's at 52 all-time highs, I should say all-time highs. Oracle at 126. If they continue to grow their cloud the way they've done it, I think absolutely 100% they could continue. Cleveland Cliffs, we talked about. This one, 1688. I've been saying this one since June. Get it under 15. It was at 1460. You're there. You're there at your 10% if you want. PXD, and I don't know if this is more Joe. I don't know if it's me. I said get it under 200, and you could have gotten it under 200 right before the ex-dividend date of May 31st. So maybe I'd continue to add this one under 200. I know there's some talk about the dividend going down. I just think oil is at least $100 by the end of the year. So I've got 6 figures in the oil, not PXD, but 6 figures in oil. I'm a believer in it. I'm accepting that dividend. I like getting paid on oil. I mean, I'll just hold it. Snowflake, under 150. I've been pounding that table. June 1st here, we were at about 160. So, you got your 10% because you're at 194 in pre-market. Pan W. This was one where they reported earnings. I said get it before earnings. Their earnings was May 25th. You could have bought this one at 205. I said, hey, it's probably still good. You're at 243 right now, 247 in pre-market. TQQQ. I've been saying this one hasn't lost its confirmation. The only time it really even, the button hook right here was in danger, but at 35, you're 41 right now. So again, TQQQ, you don't want to buy it and hold it into a weekend, but if you think we're still going and we still have confirmation, no reason to get, if you want to play this one, just to have your stop losses tight. Tighten up those stop losses. Ones I've missed that have absolutely flown is SOFI. SOFI, I mean, listen, Charlie, high five from MLS. Anybody else who got into SOFI, you've lost a little bit of confirmation in yesterday because they brought it down. I think you buy it on the dip. I think when this one gets down to 8, I think you've got a $10 stock in you because good companies with good management, with good products. These guys have great products. Their problem is going to be the profit margin. That's going to be but when you pick up, and here's the danger that you have in this one, if you get into this one, is the Supreme Court actually upholds the waiving of student loans. If that happens, I think you buy the dip. Honestly, if you want to wait, I think you buy the dip. But if you get under 8 and you're so inclined, get that one. Palantir I've missed. I know there were a few people who got into Palantir around $7. Kudos on this one. June 1st, you were kind of up here in the $14 range. I said you got a $20 stock in you. You're at 16. Honestly, I've missed it. And I know some people have been just pouring into DPST. I've missed it. I mean, the algorithm right on June 2nd, 59.80. You've got your 10% because you're at 65. You're at 66.25 in pre-market. So I've missed it. I want you guys to go and look at my socials for the crypto video that I posted a couple of days ago. I was going to play it, but it probably wouldn't play out here on just on a podcast. So go and watch it. I'll put a link to it in the newsletter. Moving averages that went over. China is stimulating their economy. It's been stalled. China economy is stalled. The announcement is what kind of, when you look at SPY, midday yesterday, nothing huge. Then China announced, we're going to stimulate the economy. Boom, U.S. takes off. The biggest thing that you're seeing right now is the inversion. When I talk about inversion, the 2 and the 10-year bond are still inverted. It's coming up on the highest inversion as we were back in October of last year. Now, this market is ignoring a recession, absolutely ignoring a recession. Back in October of last year, we were in danger. We were concerned that there was a recession coming up. That's why you see it down here, and the inversion was huge. Look, today, it failed to do this. Today, you're looking at a almost as large an inversion, but the market's just ignoring it. That's the danger that you're in. BlackRock announced today they filed paperwork for a let me reset this. They announced paperwork for a Bitcoin ETF. And so BlackRock will be kind of commingling that. And I hate to say commingling, but the custodian of the Bitcoin for the ETF will be Coinbase. And we went over Coin. That's bullish for Coin. I also saw, and this is bullish for Robinhood, and the symbol is hood, but Coinbase has a cross up here at 53.29. It's in the scans today. But 53.29, if you want to invest in BlackRock, again, you're getting back here to these highs at 775. You got 10% in it. It's not crazy to think that you go up there. but it does indicate that big money may be moving towards Bitcoin. It was a big mover for Bitcoin. Motley Fool. I posted this in the Facebook group. I post all the texts. My dad subscribes to Motley Fool, and so I post all the texts in the private Facebook group. They probably don't like that I do that, but I post it there. End phase. They said buy end phase. I've been saying buy end phase since 161. Here's a long-term look at end phase. It's been beaten down this year. Here is December, where you're at 333. You're at 180 right now. You're touching the 200-day. When's the last time you touched the 200-day? Oh, 2018. This is a solar stock. Go and read the text. Absolutely a solar stock that you probably should own. With the infrastructure bill, with solar incentives, end phase is going to be a big winner. There were 5 all-time highs yesterday. First one, NVIDIA. Talked about NVIDIA. This one in pre-market is at 433, all-time highs. It's going to set all-time highs again. Home builder, Lennar, after their earnings, all-time high, 119. Not a bad stock at all, but again, all-time highs. Oracle, great stock, great cloud. Again, all-time highs at 127 in pre-market. Apple, your boy has 40% of his portfolio in Apple. 186, all-time high. Am I trimming? Nah. Talked about confirmation. This has confirmation. Why would I trim? Just because it's at a 50 all-time high? You could trim. You know what? Apple's one of those that I buy and hold. Microsoft, after their upgrade, with a price target of 350, well, guess what? It's at 350, 349.70, all-time high, all-time high. We talked about Uber being a buy under 40. It's at 43. So if you got it under 40, 39.80, kudos. You're at your 10%. You could get rid of it. I suggest this is one of those stocks that I would suggest absolutely 100% going into long-term capital gains where you only pay 15%. I can't say it enough. Taxes matter. Uber's a good company with good products, with good management. The earnings will come. They announced that they are starting video advertising in their app. That's going to add billions of dollars in advertising revenue. You're going to make money. This one becomes probably a super app. Snowflake was up 5% yesterday. Again, you're approaching that $200. If you get above $200, take your profits. You'll have a chance to buy this at $150 again. Something will happen. The reason I know that is because the valuation is crazy. Forward PE of 202. I own this. My average purchase price is around 180. I will be selling at that 200 and adding back in. Roblox, yesterday it went under 40. This is one. You got a trigger here, algorithm trigger, $40.35. Under 40, get it. It's at $40.91 in pre-market. This will absolutely go to 44 at some time. Qualcomm. I pointed out Qualcomm down here at 105. I said this is a great price. I also said 117 was a good price. I said 119 was a good price. I think 123 is a good price. You're just getting above that 200-day. The gap has not been totally filled. You still have this one at 111. If you want to hold off there, I think you can get it at 111 at some point in time, but Qualcomm. PayPal. We talked about PayPal being a great stock at $60. I think you can still buy it at 65. I think this gap up here gets filled to 75. So again, we're just kind of going over the week. It was pointed out to me yesterday, Rocket Mortgage. I pointed this out at $8.12. You're at $9.34. I said it's probably a $10 stock. Just be careful of that one. Have your stops in. I posted on the Substack. I posted a note yesterday about Kava stock. And we're going to have to go to a 1-minute chart because you can't see squat on Kava. maybe we'll go 65. Let's see if we can. Nah, it still doesn't pull up even anything. But let's see. 1 minute stock. This is the stock yesterday. I posted a note on the Substack. And again, I think you have to go to dailystockpick.substack.com to see it. But it's a note why I didn't point it out yesterday. And it's because of IPOs. So this one, they are touting that it was up 100% because the IPO price was 21. Well, you could get it for 21 if you were part of the IPO crew. If you weren't part of the IPO crew, you couldn't get this at 21. It wasn't trading on the open market at 21. You would have gotten in at around $45. Okay? Yeah, you could have driven it all the way up to 47. Good luck. Good luck. Here's the thing that you have to know about IPOs. Once it hits the open market, again, any reaction is an overreaction. Look at that. You hit, what'd you hit? 46.75. And again, the overreaction when the market opened, it went down to 40. So if you got in at 40, great. I think $40 isn't a bad price for this stock. But we don't know enough about their earnings. All you're trusting on is kind of the initial stuff. That initial stuff doesn't always mean anything. But I posted it why you just don't want to do it. People ask me all the time about JEPI and QYLD. And so I wanted to do a chart in Seeking Alpha. These are high dividend covered call strategies. JEPI is, let me see. Let's go into FinViz. I think JEPI it's a premium income ETF. So they trade covered calls. That's essentially what they do. They pay an 11% annual dividend. This will absolutely just get you 11%. You will make 11% on this. It is not a floating dividend. It is a dividend. It will pay you 11%. That's what they will pay. That's what they manage it for. QYLD pays about the same, I think, 11.46%. That is what they will pay you. So I wanted to point out the difference. QYLD is a NASDAQ 100 covered calls. Well, QYLD, not only are you getting that 11%, but you're up 12% in the actual asset value. So the green line that you're seeing, that's QQQ. So QYLD, you get 12% in the asset, you're making 11% there. But if you just bought the Qs instead of a covered call strategy, you'd be up 40%. So that's why I don't always recommend covered call strategies in that sense. Let's go back here and we're going to run that. Let's see. I've been getting, oh, by the way, thank you for all the kind messages on Facebook. I know I asked you guys, how'd you find the podcast, stuff like that. Continue posting them. I probably am putting together some type of ad package where, I won't charge you guys for any kind of thing. I know, like I said, with the newsletter, if you want to, commit to the newsletter and pay, I won't put a lot behind a paywall. I try not to do that. The only thing that I want to charge for are services like TrendSpider, or, if I put together kind of a quote unquote book kind of thing, those types of things. I get a commission on TrendSpider, but I'm a guy that uses TrendSpider. I can't trade without it. Even before I started the podcast, I was using TrendSpider. I pay for TrendSpider. I love TrendSpider. But the messages that you guys send about how, some people have blown up accounts. Some people have tried other podcasts. They're not entertaining. I don't think I'm entertaining. Listen, I tell you guys, my friends hang up the phone on me sometimes just because I talk so much. But I do appreciate the messages. Continue posting them because I can, wipe out your name and just use them as testimonials when I talk to like advertisers and stuff. And I won't take an advertiser who's going to be a douche. So don't worry, I won't do that. Adobe. Adobe is up 5% in after hours. We talked about it yesterday. I was slightly concerned with the dollar amount. Because it has run so much, but it's still up 5%. They beat their earnings. They offered mixed guidance. I will post a great article from investors.com. If you want to know what Adobe does, where they make their money, I think it's a great article about how they did their cloud software. I think it's a good article. Let's look up Boyle. Boyle moved yesterday. Boyle was up. You closed at $2.70 on Wednesday. Thursday, you closed the morning at $3.15. Nice 10%. Today you're opening up 3% up, 325. This one has to move up. I mean, if you got in at this 267, you're still moving up. Great trade. Great trade. So Boyle, natural gas, finally moving up. Micron, MU is the symbol. Let me just put MU. They basically announced they're setting up an India factory. They're up 2%. Intel announced that they're setting up a factory in Poland. So they're going to fund a factory in Poland, up 1.1%. So they're moving great. Let's get to you guys. Melissa from Facebook, Joby and Archer. I'm up 25% in each one of these. My initial thought was to keep holding, but the second thought is to sell because they've done so well. Let's look at Joby. These are crazy stocks. First off, I can tell you're the Wall Street bets YOLO type. Absolutely, if you're fly fishing, you're throwing your reel out, your whatever, your cast out there, just probably 300, 400 feet. I mean, you're going football fields at this point. Joby is, it's crazy, but it has had that run. And I think you mentioned that you were in over a year. In my mind, you take your profits. You do have confirmation. I would say take your profits when you lose confirmation. This one is not going to go from 7 down to 3 again. It will slowly go 7 down to 3. This is a weekly. I don't know that you're getting back to here to 13. I see this right here, kind of $7.05. I would have probably sold there because of that top, and that top. This candle from this week that goes up to its high of $8.02, it still hasn't lost its confirmation. The RSI is at 79. The MACD is super high. You do have a danger of this becoming a button hook and coming back down here. I would put my stop at about $7.50. So I would put a sell order in at $7.50 on this one. They are not making money. I mean, I don't need to go to FinViz to understand this. They are losing $309 million. They have a $4.5 billion market cap. So it's not huge. 4.5 it's not enormous. 605 million shares outstanding. They have $1.72 per share. So say 2. They have $1.2 billion. They're fully funded. They probably don't have to recapitalize. So I think you're safe in that one. I would just probably put a stop at 750 and just say, okay, I'm done with it. Archer, let's see. It's probably the same thing. Archer, let me see. ACHR, I think it is. Archer Aviation. Let's look at Archer. Same thing. I mean, if you got in at this dollar, you 4 times your money. I mean, great trade. From a weekly, and look at that gap. You've covered that gap. Let's see if there's other gaps up here, because there's always gaps in these stocks. It covered that gap. I mean, you're close to your highs of recent. The weekly, I would say $5.16 is probably going to be a stretch to get there. I would put your stop in on this one. Yeah, I'd probably say about $4.50. I mean, take the profits. You can always buy back in. You're taking long-term profits. The key point is you can always buy back in. So when you take profits, you can always buy back in. When you take losses and you write those losses off, it's what's called a watershed. I think it's called watershed. You can't always buy right back in. Sometimes you have to wait 30 days. It depends on your tax situation. Check with your accountant, blah, blah, blah. If your accountant is you, check with yourself. Google it. Corey, he put an analysis of Albertsons on the private Facebook group. First off, solid analysis. I do see a gap here all the way up to 27. It's undervalued compared to its peers. My comment to Corey was, I do my grocery shopping at Walmart. So I'm probably not the best to adjust this one. I can see, supermarkets are a dying game. I mean, the way they make their money is conglomerates. So I think the biggest nationwide is Kroger. But this one had its IPO and they ran all the way up to, looks like $38 and they're at 21. So you've got your volume shelf down there. Let's pull the volume shelf here to its highs. You can see most people are holding down here. There's no real catalyst to move it up here. Your 50 days moving down. It's not old enough to have a 200-day. But from a standpoint of the algorithm, I don't know that I necessarily believe it. It's been capitulating around here between 20 and 21. I think at 21, 25, you could, I think anything under $21. Take the bait, get in there. I think you could fill this gap. Again, I only say this to people who may shop at Albertsons. If you shop, I think it's Ralph's. Albertsons owns Ralph's. But if you shop there, I think you put your money into their business. So why not buy the stock? That's the way I look at it. But his analysis on Facebook, absolutely go in and read his analysis. Spot on. Great analysis. It's undervalued. Doesn't always mean that it will go up. Remember, I worked for a cable company for years. The Cox Communications was a public company. We were undervalued. We printed cash. And Wall Street just didn't like the future. And that's what I think, supermarkets like this one, they just don't like the future. Brandon from Facebook, he said, hey, Space announced their, why is Space moving so much? And this is Virgin Galactic, SPCE. This is a Chamath Palihapitiya. I don't know how to say his last name. But he basically took money and ran. Absolute criminal on this one. But it was a SPAC. It was thrown out there. They announced yesterday their first space flight, first consumer space flight will happen anywhere between June 27th and June 30th of this year. So it's coming up very soon. The stock moved about, 41%. It's up 41% in pre-market from $4.07 to $5.72. Absolute hype. It's not worth getting in. If you want to trade it on a 5-minute time frame, scalp it. Don't think that, oh my God, I'm getting in at $5.75 and it's going to make me a fortune. Do not think that. You can. If you know something about this company, they're not making money. It's a SPAC. They're losing, $566 million. They have 278 million shares outstanding, $1.32 per share. You will get diluted. Space is it's an incredibly expensive game. So you will get diluted. Trade this one. Do not get sucked into this hype. There's better places to put your money. You are in a market where an AI train is actually, just kind of up there. It's running. Continue to run with it. But space, it's just Let's talk about scans. CrowdStrike, secondary cross up, still bullish. No, got you out actually a couple of candles ago. 158. I don't think it's a horrible price. I think I've dollar cost averaged down to about 160. I bought back here in the 190 time frame, and I ran it up here to about 300. Didn't sell. Didn't manage my cash correctly. I think I've dollar cost averaged to about 170, 180, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I do see it running. This is cybersecurity. Everybody needs cybersecurity. You do have confirmation on this weekly. So 159, I don't think it's horrible. It had a cross up. PXD, This is one for the short term. I've always said get in under 200. It's at 203.29. Just get in under 200. I wouldn't buy it. If you don't want to hold on for oil, I wouldn't get this one. It's trading. The presumed dividend will go down. I just don't think the dividend will go down. I think they're going to continue to give you a huge dividend. Meta, secondary cross up. I mean, if you got in at 248, you got your 10%, you got 20%. You still have confirmation. So it crossed up. I think it's good. Oil, UCO, which is a triple levered crude oil, 23.59. You're trading right there in pre-market. If you think oil's up slightly, I think you could hold this one and probably get it above the 200-day at 26 again. But I'm not putting my money into this one. We talked about Coinbase being the custodian of the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, 53.29. I say anything under 50 on this one. 55, I think you're coming up to fill this gap at 72 to 76. You could buy it here. Again, if you use Coinbase. And finally, the last scan, Mercado Libre. This is the Amazon of Latin America. And you can see 12.83 is the, now the algorithm makes you 11%. Meanwhile, buying and holding over 2 years in the algorithm loses you 17.4%. So the algorithm makes you 11%. Your average win is 7.6%. You win 45% of the time. If we take a look at a long-term chart on this one, you can see you're not quite under the 200-day. So my preference would be you hold until you get to this 200-day, which is about 1,100. And I think that's when you start taking off again. The RSI is in no man's land. It's at 54. And this MACD just kind of is crossing down on the weekly. I just don't see a huge impetus for it to come up. The earnings, the catalyst is going to be post-market on August 2nd. That's when they report. So if you have any questions, again, thank you guys for everything. Remember, subscribe to the newsletter. I'll put some things in there for you. If you have any questions, hit me up on the socials. Remember, the sponsor is Visible. If you're paying anything more than $25 a month for your phone service, down below there is a link that will save you $20 off, and your first month is only $5. So it's unlimited, 5G coverage available. So I absolutely love it. I use it myself. The other sponsor is TrendSpider. If you like this algorithm, I mean, it tells you when to get in, when to get out, and take emotion out of your trade. There's a link down below. You save 25% off your subscription. It's around $400. You need the middle tier service, the elite level, in order to get my algorithm. But I will share with you the 4-hour algorithm, the 65-minute algorithm, and everything that's included. So all the watch lists, all the scanners, everything. You can get it for a month. You can try it free for 7 days, but it's very, very simple. Again, I just went over all the moving averages that I have. You guys can set it up just like you see my screen. So any other questions, hit me up. Remember, sign up for that newsletter. I think it's a good one. Okay. Take care. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you Monday. Stop recording. I almost stopped streaming. Yeah, Joby and Archer. Let me see. D-Man, I see you. I'm going to work out at Planet Fitness. I got here late. See you in a bit. Nice to see everyone. VRO. I need to work out more. I don't do weights. Do I use VWAP at all? Let me export this real quick. Export song to disk, and then I'm taking my headphones off because it's freaking hot as fuck in here right now. I do use VWAP, and I'll show you. I don't. While I use it, I don't use it a lot on TrendSpider. And I like to see it on TrendSpider. I have it in here at times. I turn it on and off, but I really use it on Fidelity. And let me go over here, Active Trader Pro. I have to put up, there it is, Active Trader Pro. I use it over here on Active Trader Pro. So like you can see Devon right now. That pink line, that's the VWAP. So I don't ever want to buy a stock that is over the short-term VWAP, but I use it more short-term, and I'm not very good at using VWAP. There are plenty of videos out there that show you a strategy or two that use VWAP, and it's very, very good. And for those of you that don't know, VWAP is volume, weight, average price. So it basically takes the volume into play, and it tells you over the short term, where is the volume trading at what price on average. And if you want to know exactly what it is and read up about it, go to Investopedia like Brian did about Death Cross. And Drew, I posted up top a pinned comment, all the month-to-date winners on the stocks. So you can view that one. I just use a catchy title every now and then. I don't think there's a setting on this one. So you'd have to check your charting stuff, but I don't know that there's a setting on Safari. I know, let me expand my Alpha Trend anchored VWAP. This is specific to TrendSpider, and you can see that little pink line up there up top. We're looking at Google right now, GOOG. If I take that off, you'll see up here there's a little pink line that comes up, and that's the anchored. It anchors to the highest point of recent, and so it tells you, okay, you're basically, I'd want to buy this one below 124. And so anchored VWAP on TrendSpider is amazing. That's essentially what I use, is that anchored VWAP. But again, I'm not very good at it. And it tells you right here on the chart, it's at 123.91. That's where your anchored VWAP is currently, 123.91. So I'd want to buy anything under 123.91. But I typically don't use it a lot. So, but D-Man, I would go and I would look up first Investopedia to see if there are kind of settings that you want to look at. They usually are pretty good about telling you if there's different things like MACD. They tell you what the three numbers mean. My MACD is 12.26.9. It's just kind of standard. I've played around with different MACDs. I've got different ones up on TrendSpider, which actually move a little bit faster but don't give you as reliable a cross up. And by the way, Google's about to cross up again. Google's capitulating here, and it's going to move up. But yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm going to quit GarageBand. Save. And then I'm going to move you over to Active Trader Pro. Holy shit. This is a blast from the past. Nikola is up 15%. These are the guys who basically took a truck and rolled it down a hill and said, we have an 18-wheeler that's an EV. Yeah, they're those douches. And then Trevor went to prison, I think. I hope he's in prison. I don't know if he ever actually went to prison. But he should be in prison. Browse. Podcast 616. Transitions. Yeah, KB, 100% risk management. I would say, so for me, stocks that are on the AI train, like NVIDIA, like Google, like Microsoft, like Amazon, even Adobe. I would say as long as you have confirmation above that 9-day, I'm kind of sticking in. And even, Apple, it's at all-time highs. I'm not trimming my position because it's still got confirmation and it's still there. So there is more, and I talked about it with CrowdStrike. I rode that one all the way down. I think I talked about it a couple days ago. Etsy, I've ridden all the way down. D-Man, no. They are, I think both of MACD and RSI are both lagging indicators. Do I use anything that kind of price action? No. And the reason, D-Man, is I'm typically not day trading. I'm typically swing trading. So what I try and do is not necessarily, hey, let's look at the volume. I look at the volume as, hey, is the volume trending upward? I think there's some things in TrendSpider. Let me just start uploading this. Let me see if I have any. I'll expand. Dividend and triangles, fair value gap. There's a fair value gap, which uses price, volume, BBKC squeeze, that uses volume as well. The price action, the volume levels that I talk about, let me show you. So this volume level by price. So if we pull this back, typically you want to pull this back to recent kind of highs. We'll pull this back here because you're seeing kind of a double top here at about 107. So from here, you're seeing a volume shelf build there. So price action for me would say up here, you're quickly going to create a short-term shelf there. Now, from a long-term perspective, if you look at this and we move this volume level, you really want to pull it towards its highs. So we're going to pull this to January 31st, 2022. Those were the highs. Well, right now you're seeing that shelf at 119. That would tell me right here, 119. It just so happens to be this August high as well, 119. 119 to 120, I'd say that's your shelf. As you start to build out these shelves here, that provides more support and more room to go up. So I can only talk to TrendSpider on this one. Other stuff, I just don't know. But I don't use anything price action. And price action is typically day trading, not necessarily swing trading. You do want to look at that volume shelf for support and stuff. But, God, Nicola's still moving up. Okay, save episode. We're going to go and I got to get out of here in a little bit because I got to shower and head out to lunch. And I'd like to get a little WALK in here too. I can't say the word or else the two little beasts will come over and somebody knows spelling because she just woke up. Okay, notes. We're going to do that. I got to show your comment. And I don't know why it's not letting me. Let me see. Live chat. Oh, hold on one second. I'm going to show your comment here in a second. I don't know why it's not letting me do it. Oh, okay. It did let me do it. Yeah. D-Man, finding a system's tough. I mean, I think my success can point to my system for me, but I don't think that I could ever... Other people will have to alter my system to feel comfortable is probably the best way I can put it. Because there's just so many little things that I inject into my system that are so... And it's emotional. It's emotion. I mean, that's essentially it. What's Archer's symbol? ACHR. ACHR. There we go. I've got that. Let's see. We're gonna put I'll look at that in a second, Sherry. We'll take those out. Oh. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. I'm trying to create a good system that takes the emotion out of it for me since I'm struggling with it so much. Yeah, D-Man, the referral's down below. It's 25% off. Sometimes you can get 50% off. Make the switch when it's a 50% sale. And don't pay for that, tips? That website's... Man, I know you're used to it and stuff, and I hate telling people not to do it, but the link for TrendSpider is... I'll post it. Go Gary. Six 1690 or 23. It's not horrible. I just think there's so much good information for free on FinViz. Why pay for tip ranks? Man, it's one of... For me, I've always looked for free... And again, I think I pointed this out yesterday. Your boy's cheap. Your boy here's just cheap. If I can find a free version of something... I'd rather use the free version. And I just don't think tip ranks for me, I believe myself and my trading partner, Steve, when we were developing this algorithm and stuff, we tried tip ranks and we just didn't like it. It gave us some information, and I have to think of the websites that we paid for. And by the way, when I say we paid for them, he paid for them. I just got to use them. Okay, so we're going to do that. Publish now. Okay, I'm all set. I'm going to copy all of this. And we're going to put this in here. I'm going to go over to Canva. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'll look at CERS for you in a second, Sherry. I'm just going to upload this YouTube, and then I'll do that. Six 16 podcast. take this down. I'm going to put effects, background, transparency. I don't want it to be transparent. There we go. You're on vacation, man. You're fine. Let me see. Is that good enough? I've picked. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to say this. I'm going to take this out. And we're just going to say this. I think that's better. Okay. I'm going to share, download. Okay. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to quit preview. I'm going to close this out. I'm going to title this one we're going to put this and we're going to upload thumbnail. That one. Playlists. Daily podcast recording. No. And I've got my notes in there. Sign up for Webull. Okay. Next. I can always fix it later. 41 minutes. Yeah, no trading on Monday. Close. Spotify. Wow. Okay, we're going to close that off. Now let's look at yours, Sherry. CERS. Bum, bum, bum. Falling knife. Ooh. Cirrus. The RSI is at 67. I mean, that MACD is up there at 0.11, which I don't know. Short term, it's had that bounce. You've broken the 200-day, so that's going to be your first resistance level because you can see how it bounced up against that 200-day a couple of times here. The algorithm actually loses you more, 68% versus 54% if you were to bought and held. That gap up there, I would say is, let's pull it back to kind of highs here when the gap was created. The good news is that I will tell you, your volume shelf is at 277 above here if you pull it back to where that gap was created. I'm going to exact on that candle that the gap was created. So yeah, you can see that volume shelf right there between 277 and 285. That's the largest volume shelf where people are holding. Everybody down here seems to have either gotten out or these people just held because it was putting in capitulation here. I would say if you bought at 261, let's see. Sherry thinks it's a bargain, so let's look at some of the fundamentals. So they're losing $46 million on a $483 million market cap. So they're losing 10% of their market cap every year. They have cash on hand, 52 cents, and they have 1.78 million. So what's 50% of 1.78? It's 0.89. So they have 89 million. So they're around for at least a couple of years. Sales 183 million. Employees 309. Average price target is 762. Let's look at last covered in January. Buy to neutral. So the last price target was in January, $3.75. I'm not going to read the news articles. Let's see. The director, they're buying at $2, but they're not buying a ton. It's like $10,000 worth. The last sale was $2.80 March, and that was at $2.80, and you're trading at what? $2.61. I don't think it's horrible. I don't think you back up the Brinks truck into this one. It's a biomedical product company, focuses on developing and commercializing the Intercept blood system to enhance blood safety. Its Intercept blood system, proprietary technology, controlling biological replication that is designed to reduce bloodborne pathogens and donating blood components. In fact, speaking of that, my dad went in for stuff. I have to text my dad. I don't think it's horrible, Sherry. I don't know that you're going to 4. For me, if I'm looking at this one, I'm thinking this range right here, which is 277 to 290, maybe even 270. If you get above this shelf right here at 2, say you get above 3. I think if you get above 3, then that 350, 360 to 375 is in range. Yeah, she buys a bunch of stuff. In fact, I'm going to print up her notes on the newsletter this weekend. These are ones that, let's see, is there a news article that she bought it? No. Oh, she goes bargain hunting on 3 stocks, June 7th. Let's see. Let's see what they say about it. Because she actually, I don't know if this is authorized or if this is a freebie. Coinbase Global, Rocket Lab, and Cirrus. After 6 consecutive years of top-line growth of 17 or better, Cirrus is starting to prove mortal. Revenue declined 17% in last month's first quarter. Cirrus is a biotech stock working on blood safety, Intercept, which reduces pathogens. With 439 market cap, it's one of the smaller companies in the ARK Invest portfolio. Its latest quarter was rough, and it wasn't just the top-line slide. Cirrus has now posted larger losses than expected on the bottom line. Cirrus feels that it has cleared the headwinds from earlier this year. It sees a return to revenue increase for the balance of 2023. On Monday, it was awarded an $8.7 million Department of Defense contract for a treatment in cases of traumatic injury bleeding. The amount may not seem like much, but it could move the needle given the size of Cirrus. So $8.7 million. What's their market cap again? 8.7. I mean, that's what, 5%? It's not a bad. I mean, if you can get a 5% bump in your business from one contract, she's betting on 3 of them. So of the 3 that she picked up, Coinbase, Rocket Lab, or Cirrus, I'd probably bet on Coinbase. Brinks truck is for SMMT. I'm telling you, SMMT has been doing really well. And boy, by the way, speaking of Coinbase, Cathie Woods did not hold back on Gary Gensler, the SEC chairman. She said, Gensler is an absolute menace to society, the single person who is doing the most to kill innovation in the U.S., because if Gensler is allowed to stay at the SEC, innovation will move elsewhere. That's my note. That is Cathie Woods. So, and I tend to agree with her, but she was pretty virulent and pretty angry at Gensler. So, man, it's 10 o'clock. I got to head out because I got to shower and stuff before I head out to lunch. And I want to maybe go for a walk before lunch too. I hate talking you out of this one, Cherry. The upside on this one, I think, is limited. I don't know that you're getting back to the $8, but I could be absolutely wrong. Cathie Woods knows a hell of a lot more than I do. Yeah. And I think a lot of people, I mean, when you look at it, most people seem to own it at this. If I bring it back, let's just go to a long term. Let's go to a weekly. And what we'll do is we'll pull this volume shelf back. We'll pull it all the way back to 2018. I mean, look where most people are holding it. They're holding it between $5 and $7. So I just, again, if their growth has stalled, but they're projecting that their growth is going to go up again, I don't know if that's an overconfident CEO or a CEO who just wants to stem the market control. But Cathie Woods knows way better than any of us on this freaking live stream. I was so impressed with her. I can't tout her enough that she makes me want to buy ARK Invest again. It's like the first time I saw her talk. I gushed, and I threw $100,000, $200,000 into her funds, and it was well worth 3, 4, 5 times what I actually did it. Then I wrote it all the way down. I mean, look, I'll show you. Let's just look at ARK K. ARK K, you know what? I think ARK W was the first one that I got into. ARK W was the first one that I got into. And she even mentioned it when I asked the question. She's like, dude, a lot of people dollar cost average and smart investors dollar cost average. But here, ARK W was one that I got in here. I think it was around this time. It was November 2017. So it was around 40. And I got in at around 40. And the reason myself and my trading partner, Steve, got into this, we were trading GBTC, but we also wanted exposure to GBTC and Tesla in particular within an ETF. She was the only ETF to actually use to trade GBTC and Tesla and to hold it. She wasn't trading it. She wound up holding it. And so when we went back there, again, you're trading around 40. Look, you got up to 175, so almost 180. What's that? Four times. I wound up selling back here at around 50. I mean, I didn't take a ton of profits in this. ARKK, I got into later. I think it was around 2018. I got into ARKK at around probably this time, not 2018. I think it was probably around here, 43, 44. I wound up selling for a loss. ARKG, I got into significantly later. If we look at a weekly on ARKG, she basically went on TV and started saying ARKG was the next big one. And I think it was around this time that I got into ARKG. And you're looking at about a $30 stock. And this one got up to 100. I added more at 100. So she even addressed part of the problem that she had, and I'll include this in the newsletter, is they were seeing inflows to their fund of $2 billion a day at one point. I mean, imagine $2 billion a day in your fund. And you can't sustain that. As a fund manager, you can't sustain that because you can't allocate all that money. So what happens when you get all of those inflows and you don't allocate that money and you don't continue to buy, you wind up getting money pulled out. So, and then you had interest rates and you I read a great article, if you guys ever, and I need to do it, but it was about ARK funds. Maybe I'll find it and put it in the newsletter, but I got to search for it. I didn't bookmark it. It was in 2021. I think it was January 2021. Me and my trading partner, Steve, were trying to figure out, should we get out of ARK funds? Because they've run up so much that should we just get out of them? And you can see, I mean, here, COVID low at 28, you 4 times your money in 1 year. And in January 2021, we were thinking about getting out. The article said it took a look at the best performing ETFs over the last, I think 70, 80 years, or I'm sorry, 20 or 30 years, because ETFs haven't been around that long. The best ETFs from the previous year, how they did in the subsequent next 5 years to try and predict how ARK would do. And let's just say they didn't perform very well. They underperformed the S&P every single time. So the number one ETF underperformed for the next 5 years, and it never got back to its number one status. So that's what makes me a little bit hesitant to get that. Okay. I'm going to do the newsletter in a little bit. I'm going to probably do that before lunch, but I am going to go take a shower. Thank you guys for all your tips. Thank you to anybody who stays as a paid member of the newsletter. You don't have to pay. I'm going to give it to you for free. But if you want to provide support, sign up for the newsletter. I think I put paid things up there. Let me see what it is. dailystockpick.substack.com. Okay. I can do no thanks. You can just type in, it's free. You don't have to pay anything. But let's see. Archive. I don't have any archives. About. That's just my about. I don't know how you get to a paid version. Subscribe. Let's see. Yeah, it's just telling me my email address, but I don't want to put in my email address. I mean, I'm to find out more, there's the Daily Stock Pick link tree. That is this. And you can tip me or gift me however you want. Visible, YouTube Live Daily, the Daily Spot podcast. I should move this one up. I should edit this and move this. But I like Visible up there at the top. Sign up for Visible, the future of phone service. I need to change that. I'm going to change that. Okay, hold on. We're going to change this live. Linktree. I am going to say it's $20. Okay. Let's see. There you go. YouTube Live Daily, 8:30 a.m. Spotify. I like that better. Get special watch lists. Oh, I need to say algorithms. Done. Okay. Okay. And with that, I was supposed to go 10 minutes ago. I'm out. See you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on any of the socials. This is where you go. Just the socials are right here. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, which I never use, Spotify. That one is, and don't use this dollar. I need to take that dollar off. Use these down here. That dollar, you know what? I'm going to take that off then. More, let's see, social icons. Oh, I guess you can use that dollar. Let me see. It does. There's me. So you can use Venmo. Venmo's my preferred, but you can use whatever you want. Yeah, it's 777. I need 1,000 to start monetizing, but like I tell all the social managers who hit me up in the email, I'm not interested in growing. I'm interested in just generic growth. If you find me, you find me. I don't make this a business. I don't want it to be. Maybe I will. I just don't know what's special. I give away all my stuff. You know what? At 1K, I promise you, Brandon, this. At 1K, I will make sure that I have the PDF book as to what tools I use, where I learned how to kind of look up all of the stuff, learned how to use MACD, learned how to use moving averages. I'll put all of that into a PDF. And what my plan for the PDF, my hope was that I could basically charge people one time for access to an constantly updating PDF. But your boy is a boomer. Haven't figured out how to do that yet. But yeah, I think a lot of people would benefit from that because, again, if you're not here, if you're not listening regularly and you just kind of pop in every now and then, that would probably be the best tool for somebody to get other than TrendSpider. Yeah, and that's kind of what, yeah. I mean, $20 I don't think is too much to pay for a system, for an explanation of how I do it. No, I won't use Excel. It'll be a PDF because it'll be more like a book with some charts and some examples and some YouTube links. Yeah, the only problem, Brandon, is that people can share the link. And I'd like to keep it to only people who have paid. And so I know there are services out there that I can get it. GitHub allows me to upload the actual PDF. And I think what I can do is even in Substack, I might be able to do that. And that's why I turned on the paid stuff yesterday on Substack, is if you pay me a monthly or a yearly subscription, I might keep that PDF in Substack. And be able to update that at real time. And as long as you're a paid subscriber, you'll be able to see it. That's kind of why I turned on those paid subs. You can, D-Man, but D-Man, you are probably half my age. I'm an old man, and I got less motivation to learn. So, okay. With that, and by the way, if you guys have any ideas, Brandon or D-Man or anybody who's listening, or Larry or Joe, if you guys have any ideas, post them on the Facebook group. I mean, we can kind of group brainstorm. I'll set it up, but I think again, this Substack. When I go to Substack and I look at let me see, daily. And there's a paid version that I can do. By the way, there's only one recommendation that I have. And if you guys don't subscribe to My Weekly Stock, myweeklystock.substack.com, if you guys don't subscribe to that, you better subscribe to him. Tell him that I sent you. But he's got an amazing system. But yeah, there is a paid version about this. And I think that's what I was going to try and do. Yeah, dude, I'm not 64, but I'm old. I'm 53. 52, I'll be 53 in August. So, but I do think, and at 32, man, your system, if you get a system in place at my age, you'll be retired as well, D-Man. I did not, I was not an enormous, I got lucky with Apple. I got lucky with Tesla. I got lucky with Amazon, but even Amazon, I mean, look at Amazon. I say I got lucky with Amazon, but if you go back and you go to a weekly, I mean, look at, that's $176 stock, $180 stock. And I've ridden it all the way back down to 85. So, yeah. Capital management, like somebody said it before. It was, let me see, KB. Capital management. Okay. With that, I am seriously out. I got to go shower. I'll talk to you guys on Tuesday. I'll talk to you guys Tuesday. See ya. I'll do special newsletters this weekend since I have Monday off. See ya.